Have you ever considered that keeping alive the memory of the smiles of the most important people in your life, or watching your ability to recall fade away gradually, might depend on decisions as simple as what you choose at the grocery store? It sounds unlikely, I know, but science is here to prove otherwise. There are studies showing that certain foods, those anyone can buy at the market, have the power to significantly reduce the risk of mental decline with age. Think about this for a moment. Fewer moments of confusion, sharper reasoning, the ability to live independently when you're older. And do you know what's fascinating? This information isn't locked away in secret laboratories or in billion-dollar pharmaceutical formulas. It's available to everyone, but almost no one talks about it. Let me tell you two different stories about the same future. In the first, you complete 8 decades of life with quick thinking, exchanging ideas with family, recalling every detail of lived moments, fully enjoying each second. In the second, your ability to remember begins to fade. It starts with lost keys, then you no longer recognize familiar faces, then the names disappear, until the day comes when you don't even know who you are. And what determines which of these stories will be yours is not fate or privileged genetics. They are choices repeated daily, so simple that you don't even notice. I know it sounds too good to be true. I doubted it too. But when I delved into scientific research on the impact of certain foods, it became impossible to keep ignoring it. That's exactly why today I will share with you which foods science proves to be true guardians of memory, how exactly they work in your brain, and how you can start including them in your routine without any hassle. I won't promise you instant miracles. What I will show you are consistent practices that, when combined, create a true fortress against cognitive decline. And the best part? It is within everyone's reach, regardless of age or financial situation. What you decide to eat today is shaping the state of your mind 20 years from now. So stay with me, because what you will discover in the next few minutes could completely revolutionize your approach to protecting your ability to think and remember. Not long ago, I came across a study that turned everything I thought I knew about protecting the brain upside down. It was an extensive follow-up published in one of the most respected medical journals in the world. Scientists observed thousands of people over many years and discovered something extraordinary. Individuals who regularly consumed certain specific fruits showed a dramatic reduction in the likelihood of developing Alzheimer's compared to those who hardly ate them. The magnitude of this finding left me speechless. It was not just another irrelevant data point lost in tables. It was a concrete and measurable reduction in the risk of losing your memories, something that many modern medicines still struggle to provide with such intensity. It was at that moment that everything became clear. This was far beyond simply eating well. It was proof that seemingly small actions, when maintained consistently, have the power to rewrite the future of millions. And what shocked me the most was realizing that this discovery remains virtually unknown. Countless families live in terror of the possibility of dementia without realizing that just minutes from their homes, there are highly effective natural tools. This left a mark on me. Alzheimer's is not a sudden event. It develops silently, cell by cell, over entire decades. And that's precisely why there is still time, not through quick fixes, but through sustainable habits repeated day after day that build a wall against the erasure of memories.
That was the great lesson of that study. Never underestimate the impact of simple and accessible choices maintained over time. Small actions can be the difference between preserving or losing who you are. Before revealing what these powerful fruits are, you need to understand what really happens inside the brain when Alzheimer's begins to take hold. Think of your brain as a huge communications hub, where each memory functions like a file stored in different sectors. Over time, various problems start to sabotage this system, making it increasingly difficult to access what is stored. First problem, accumulation of beta amyloid plaques. Imagine deposits of toxic residue accumulating in the corridors of this hub. Initially, they are just small obstacles, but as they grow, they completely block the communication pathways, preventing information from circulating freely. Second problem, tau protein tangles. Here, the damage is in the storage structures themselves. It's as if the cabinets where the files are kept start to collapse from the inside. Result, the information becomes trapped, distorted, and impossible to recover. Third problem, uncontrolled inflammation. Under normal conditions, the brain has a security system that identifies and neutralizes small threats. However, in this disease, this system completely loses control and, instead of protecting, begins to attack indiscriminately. What should be a defense turns into mass destruction. Fourth problem, oxidative damage. Think of the oxidation that causes metal to rust slowly. Something similar happens inside the brain. Aggressive molecules act like invisible acid, corroding the delicate structures that keep the connections functioning, resulting in increasingly slow and confused thinking. Fifth problem, blood circulation failure. Your brain is the organ that demands the most energy from the entire body. However, when the channels that carry blood, loaded with oxygen and nutrients, begin to narrow or clog, this vital fuel cannot reach where it is needed. Without energy, memories simply fade away. The most frightening aspect is that these 5 problems do not work alone. They reinforce each other, creating a downward spiral that accelerates mental deterioration. But there is a positive side to all this. When you understand how this process works, you also discover where you can intervene. And it is precisely here that certain foods come into play. They act as specialized maintenance teams. Some dissolve toxic deposits, others stabilize storage structures, some combat uncontrolled inflammation, others neutralize oxidation, and there are those that unblock circulation channels. Therefore, each fruit you are about to learn is not just something tasty to eat. It is a therapeutic tool that works on the deepest layers of your ability to think and remember. First fruit, orange, the protective fortress of brain cells. Most people associate oranges exclusively with vitamin C, cold remedies, and morning juice. But there is something much more powerful hidden in this fruit. Bioactive compounds capable of creating a protective shield around your memory and preventing neural degeneration. The protagonist here is hesperidin, especially concentrated in that whitish part between the peel and the pulp, precisely the part most people throw away without a second thought. This flavonoid has 2 extraordinary actions. It optimizes cerebral blood flow and at the same time protects acetylcholine, one of the most crucial chemical messengers for the formation and recovery of memories. When Alzheimer's progresses, acetylcholine levels plummet, making it extremely difficult to create new memories or retrieve old ones. Hesperidin works precisely at this critical point, helping to preserve higher amounts of this active neurotransmitter and keeping the mind functioning clearly. Additionally, it strengthens the walls of blood vessels, ensuring that oxygen and essential nutrients continue to reach nerve cells. Epidemiological investigations have already documented that people who regularly consume citrus fruits show a substantially lower risk of developing dementia. In some studies, this protection has reduced the chances of cognitive decline by half.
In practice, eating an orange daily is enough to provide this protective effect. Ideally, you should consume the whole fruit, including the segments and the white part, rather than just squeezing the juice, because it is in the complete fruit that you find all the hesperidin, vitamin C, and fibers that help with gradual and balanced absorption. Think of it this way. Each piece you chew acts as a building block, strengthening the invisible wall that keeps your memories safe. The more you maintain this simple habit each day, the more resistant this barrier becomes against forgetfulness. Second fruit, apple. The silent anti-inflammatory for the brain. The apple is so common that many see it only as a convenient snack or a basic fruit. But hidden inside it, especially in the skin, is one of the most potent natural anti-inflammatory compounds that science has studied, quercetin. Chronic inflammation is one of the most destructive forces in the process of brain degeneration. Normally, your brain maintains specialized cells that act like a team of firefighters, controlling small problem areas before they spread. The problem is that as we age, these cells can malfunction, and instead of putting out fires, they end up adding more fuel to the fire, destroying connections between neurons. It is precisely at this critical point that quercetin demonstrates its power. It can cross the brain's protective barrier and calm these uncontrolled cells, drastically reducing inflammation and allowing the body's natural defense mechanisms to function properly again. Laboratory and observational research consistently supports this effect. Scientists have documented that elderly individuals who habitually consume apples have a lower risk of cognitive decline, and specific assessments have shown they have faster thinking speeds and more stable memory. But pay attention to this crucial detail. The maximum concentration of quercetin is located in the skin. When you peel the apple, you're literally throwing away most of the benefit. Red-skinned varieties like Gala and Fuji generally contain even more quercetin than green-skinned ones. Eating one apple a day already provides significant protection, and besides being economical and easy to find anywhere, it is extremely practical. It can be eaten plain, chopped into salads, or mixed with oats. Visualize an apple as an emergency team quietly extinguishing fires within your brain. Each bite helps keep your mind cool, protected, and less worn out from accumulated stress. Third fruit, strawberry. The architect who rebuilds lost bridges. The strawberry, with its vibrant red color and distinctive flavor, is usually seen just as a delicious dessert or a special treat. But behind this delicate appearance lies an exceptional compound called forgetfulness, which has the unique ability to act directly on the neural circuits of memory. Alzheimer's has a devastating effect on synapses, the connection points between neurons. It's as if the bridges connecting different neighborhoods of a city are being demolished one after another, leaving entire regions isolated and unreachable. Forgetfulness, found in strawberries, acts as a tireless engineer. It helps rebuild these connection points, restoring communication and allowing information to circulate freely. Even more impressive, research conducted at advanced neuroscience centers has shown that forgetfulness can stimulate neurogenesis, that is, the creation of new neurons, even in already aging brains. This is a revolutionary discovery because, for decades, it was believed that after a certain age, the brain completely lost the ability to generate new nerve cells. Beyond regeneration, forgetfulness also optimizes the functioning of mitochondria, the cell's power plants. In practice, this means more fuel available for the brain to keep all its functions active and greater resistance to mental fatigue. Consuming about 1 cup of strawberries per day is enough to achieve these benefits. Whenever possible, prioritize fresh or frozen strawberries without added sugar. And if you can choose organic, even better, as it reduces exposure to pesticides that could compromise some of the protective effect. Every strawberry you eat is like turning on a light in a street that was completely dark. It's rebuilding bridges, reconnecting avenues, and restoring clarity to the mental map. Therefore, for many experts, strawberries are not just a sweet fruit. They symbolize renewal because they demonstrate that even lost connections can be restored. Fourth fruit, purple grape. The engineer of the cerebral circulatory system. When it comes to memory, almost no one thinks about blood circulation. But the brain is actually one of the most demanding organs in the body. Alone, it consumes a huge fraction of all available oxygen and energy. If the blood does not circulate properly, memories also stop flowing. This is where purple grape comes in full force. Its pigmented skin contains resveratrol, a molecule that has been extensively studied for years for its effects on vascular and brain health. This compound helps arteries maintain their flexibility, increases the production of nitric oxide, which dilates the vessels, and significantly improves the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to nerve cells. Additionally, resveratrol stimulates the mitochondria, the energy-producing factories inside cells. This translates into more vitality for neurons, which can better resist the effects of aging. In neuroimaging studies, people who regularly consumed grapes showed increased blood flow in regions linked to memory and reduced brain inflammation. Practically, about 1 cup of purple grapes daily already provides a significant intake, and it is essential to consume them with the skin, where most of the resveratrol is concentrated. If you can also include the seeds, even better. They are rich in proanthocyanidins, antioxidants that enhance this protective effect. An important detail, many people ask about red wine as an alternative. Although it also contains resveratrol, excess alcohol can actually harm brain health. Therefore, if the goal is to protect memory, the best choice is always the whole fruit. Think of grapes as engineers specialized in infrastructure. Each bunch you consume is opening new routes for oxygen and energy to circulate freely through the brain. And where there is proper circulation, there is full life. Fifth fruit, sour cherry. The cleaning team working while you sleep. When we think about preserving memory, we usually recall mental exercises or energizing foods. But there is an absolutely fundamental moment for the brain to protect and regenerate itself: deep sleep. It is during these precious hours that the true brain-cleaning operation occurs, eliminating toxic proteins that have accumulated throughout the day. Tart cherry is one of the rare natural sources of melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. But it doesn't stop there. In addition to melatonin, it contains anthocyanins and flavonoids that reduce inflammation and significantly enhance this internal cleansing. Clinical studies have shown that people who consume tart cherry juice experience more restorative nights, with increased deep sleep time and better mental clarity upon waking. In other words, it's not just about sleeping more hours, but about sleeping with better quality, the kind of rest that truly strengthens the mind. Practically, you can consume a cup of fresh cherries when they are in season, or a small glass of unsweetened concentrated juice about 2 hours before bed. This timing detail is important because it synchronizes the fruit's melatonin with your internal biological clock. Think of the sour cherry as a specialized cleaning team that comes into action while you rest. Every good night's sleep is like sweeping the mental hallways, clearing obstructions, and preparing your mind to store new memories the next day. Friday's fruit, blueberry, the specialized guardian of the memory center. These small, dark blue spheres, which many people pass by at the market or only see in frozen packages, hold one of the most well-documented secrets of brain nutrition. Blueberries are extremely rich in anthocyanins, natural pigments capable of crossing the brain's protective barrier, something very few compounds can do. Once inside, anthocyanins concentrate in critical regions, such as the hippocampus, responsible for forming and consolidating memories. It is precisely this area one of the first to be affected by Alzheimer's. Research from American universities has already shown that elderly individuals who consumed blueberries daily demonstrated measurable improvements in memory tests and even reductions in deposits of proteins associated with the disease. In another long-term follow-up, women who ate blueberries weekly experienced a delay of several years in cognitive decline compared to those who did not consume them. In addition to protecting, blueberries stimulate neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to create new connections. This happens because they activate proteins like BDNF, which act as fertilizer for neurons. It's as if each handful of blueberries reignites some lights that were already dimming in the mental map. Practically about 1 cup a day is enough. It can be fresh, frozen, or added to yogurts and porridge, always without extra sugar to avoid nullifying the effects. I want you to visualize it like this. Each blueberry that enters your routine is like an invisible brick reinforcing the wall of memory protection. A small habit, but when repeated consistently, it can become the shield that keeps your identity alive for much longer. Conclusion: the challenge that can transform the future of your mind. After learning about these 6 extraordinary fruits, you probably realize that we're not just talking about basic nutrition. We're talking about concrete hope. Each one acts on a different part of the brain. Some protect connections, Others improve circulation, some reduce inflammation, and others optimize deep sleep. Together, they form a true, natural defense against forgetfulness. It is clear that these fruits do not replace medical supervision, good sleep habits, physical exercise, or the management of conditions like hypertension and diabetes, but they are an essential piece of the puzzle for brain longevity. Small daily gestures that, when combined, can completely change the future of your mind. And for that reason, I want to propose a simple challenge for you. For the next 30 days, include at least 3 of these fruits every day. It could be an orange at breakfast, an apple in the afternoon, a handful of grapes or strawberries after lunch, sour cherry before bed, and blueberries in your yogurt. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just needs to be consistent. Notice how you feel. Perhaps you'll notice more energy, clearer thinking, deeper nights of sleep. Or maybe the changes are subtle. But believe me, your brain will thank you. I want you to carry this image with you. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't take care of it, weeds take over. But if you plant, water, and protect, this garden blossoms. Every fruit you choose to put on your plate is like a seed of clarity for the future. So if this content made sense to you, share it with someone you love. This simple gesture could be the beginning of a transformation in someone else's life. And don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. It's a way to show that you are committed to your own memory and to aging with vitality. Remember, Alzheimer's isn't defeated with magic, but with smart choices. And the best time to start is now.